Jacob, as our first guest,
Yes.
we'd like for you to give us an intro. Come up with an intro for us. It could be a song. It could be a phrase. It could be an interpretive dance, though that wouldn't play too well on mic. But
Yeah,
we could
that'd be
describe
live.
it. We could Tim and I could sports commentate it.
Commentate it.
We'll give you a score 10 out of 10, or I mean, on a scale of 10.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right.
We'll rate you at the end of the season.
You're listening to Full of Shit.
Here you go.
Way to destroy the audio track with the peaks, but
Hey,
that'll
Yeah,
work.
just for the peaks, I'll give you a solid like 6 out of 10 on that. But I like the voice acting.
I'll
I like
take it. I'll take it.
I think out of 12, I will give you a 9.
I think I like that one more.
I don't do math, so I don't know the percentages.
Yeah,
I don't know who's rating
either.
is
I could
better.
be getting ripped off right
Right.
now and not even realize it.
Uh,
So, I guess we should introduce ourselves. My name is Noah, and I'm one of the hosts of Full of Shit, and I am full of shit.
yeah, and my name is Tim. I'm also a host of Full of Shit, and I am even more full of shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I would disagree with that. I think I would agree. You're probably more full of shit than I.
Yeah, he's got a lot of shit.
Yeah,
in him.
see, I can insult myself and compliment myself at the same time.
So essentially, the goal here is we're going to pick a topic, and that topic has already been picked because that'd be very unprofessional of us to come up with it on the spot. And we're going to argue about who is more full of shit. And today's topic for our guest and for Tim and I is, what action movie do you think you could survive as the protagonist?
Oh.
And now I think before we start, we probably need to set some ground rules. Like
Yeah, fair.
the ground rule that we may or may not have talked off mic about is, otherwise everything else will be on mic. I should also mention, no research allowed. If we find you've done any research, you'll be exiled from the show, never to return.
Oh my
And that includes the host. So Tim, we're in hot water
watch
here.
your
Oh,
back.
God.
I'm watching you.
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
You
Yeah,
better watch
I'm
my
gonna take
internet
that
search
host
history.
spot from you.
that's right. We gotta make sure we keep an eye on that research. But today's topic is, what action movie, I said that already, what action movie do you think you could survive as the protagonist? And I think the ground rule we need to set is you need to go through the plot of the movie. So you can't just be like John Wick and be like, I just wouldn't go after the attackers. It's like you have to do the movie.
Right.
And I think maybe how we should decide who wins is who would survive longest. Because I really don't think any of us would fully survive a movie.
No, yeah.
Maybe, unless somebody's got a good one.
Yeah, you'd have to think pretty hard for that one.
Yeah,
But maybe our goal should be who could survive the longest in each action movie.
I like that. Yep.
So does anybody have one to start? Because I don't. I need to think about it. We're going to leave this dead air in.
Just leave the brainstorming. Well, one off the bat that I thought could have been likely, but then kind of died immediately in my head, was the unspeakable Avatar: The Last Airbender movie, because it's kind of actiony, and I was like, yeah, of all the things that go kind of batshit insane in that's probably like the most likely you could survive. But it's like, oh wait, you don't get any of the bending powers.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, no, it's just you. It's
Yeah,
like
you just
get
kind of, so you
dropped
still just
in.
kind of get murked from the first pebble that hits
Yeah, I
you or
was gonna
something.
say,
Earthbender.
You might just get burned alive or drowned or something. You never know.
Somebody would just force water down your
You might
lungs.
get lightning
Yeah.
strike. Yeah, it just wouldn't go swell at all.
Yeah.
Avatar. So Jacob is dying right off the bat.
Oh,
I think.
man.
How does that movie start? You would be the Avatar, right? 'Cause
You
you'd be the
would.
protagonist.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I'd be
you would be
frozen
the
in ice.
protagonist.
I'd be discovered by Katara and Sokka, and have to all of a sudden face the Fire Nation as just normal old Jake and be like, "All right, guys, I got this."
Yeah, that wouldn't go well.
I wouldn't
Damn.
have.
Do you think
this.
you would die in the ice because you're not the Avatar?
Oh man, yeah, I would start glowing. I just that the movie would start
Right.
before it begins.
Right. So like, I think they would find you and they'd be like, oh,
No,
guy
you see,
in
I
the
think
ice.
they wouldn't even find me at all because how they found him was like that beam of light. I'm just a normal dude. So they just see,
That's
they
true.
just see
They're
an
not even gonna
iceberg.
see it. They're just gonna
Be
keep
like,
on going their merry way, and
cool
Jacob's just
iceberg.
gonna be sitting there just chilling in the ice.
Yep.
so Jacob loses.
No,
Oh,
no
that was-
pun intended.
Hey, that
may-
was a brainstorm. That's not a final answer.
Maybe just for the sake of the train wreck that this show is, we should just say, okay, maybe they find him somehow,
Maybe,
and
okay.
he
Yeah,
survived.
Say they found you.
Uh-huh.
What would you do next then?
So I guess the immediate problem following this is due to the lack of like big beam of light. So they somehow find me. Does this then mean that the Fire Nation people then also find me for the sake of plot then, without the beam of light?
Yes.
Yeah,
because
they would have
were
to.
they were there. They were there, so they would have seen you.
So would I still have Appa and would I still have said relationship with
I would
Appa?
say-
Yeah, I would
that
say-
we established.
I would
I'd
say
say-
the world is exactly the same, except
Okay.
you've been plucked, or
So
Aang has been plucked out and you've been dropped in.
Okay, if I still had all the previous relationships and such,
I don't know about that one though. I don't think Appa. I think that's too much to give you.
Because like if all of a sudden, because Appa would be there. Well, then we had the problem that Appa might just eat me, and then simulation ended again right there.
Right.
So if we could,
Does Appa eat people? Is that a thing he does?
He's a very big
I don't know.
vegetarian.
He's a
I think
giant
he
bison.
might.
At the
I
very
think he
least,
might just like stomp you.
yeah,
I
so
don't
he might
think we
just
ever see
headbutt me.
Appa eat anybody.
No.
He might just destroy me with his tail or something because he's like, "You're not Aang. Where did Aang go?"
That's
And
true.
just
Like
kinda murk me.
Appa
pissed.
might be a little startled if you just pop out
He'd
of
be pissed.
the iceberg.
Then again, he was startled by Katara and Sokka, but Aang was there to calm him down.
Right,
so.
right.
That's true.
And again, maybe for the sake of the show, because I don't think we would survive very long, we should go through every key plot point and say if you would survive that or not.
Yeah. So I guess in terms of my situation,
Yeah, maybe we should say like who would survive the most parts of the movie.
Yeah, that would probably be fair.
This is an ever developing idea.
it's like the more you start thinking about some of these movies and scenes, you're like, oh
especially when you limit it down
no.
to action movies or
Right,
movies
right.
with like high action.
We're not going Teletubbies. I could survive Teletubbies,
Well,
probably.
Well, yeah, obviously.
it can come down to
Just
the type
dance
of
in front of
action
the
movie too.
laughing sun and you're fine.
Mhm. But like you get like different kinds of action movies, and that could also determine your chances because you could run into something like I don't know, all the Dwayne Rock Johnson movies where they're always like some crazy terrorist event in some high-rise thing and also buildings falling down and he's jumping outside building. There's no way, man. I'm not surviving that.
Right.
I'm terrified of heights. I'd be just crying and sweating and I just slip and slide off the building.
Here we go. The Matrix.
You think you could survive the Matrix? Would you?
Oh,
But would you
man.
be the one? How does Neo become the one?
He was just chosen, but he was trained like everyone else was. I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Let's also say that since we've done no research, if you want to insult us and call us names and comments, that's fine. We don't care.
Oh yeah, I
Go
guarantee
for it.
Honestly,
We're idiots. We know.
we're asking for it.
The show is full of shit. So, yeah. Anyway, continue. Where were we? What movie are you talking about?
Matrix.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Yes, how he's trained like a normal person.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like how it starts is I honestly can't remember how does that movie start? Can that
Starts. He's like a hacker in his room, and he's like and he gets like a message from Morpheus.
right? Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yep.
Again, we're idiots. We know.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a
So-
butchered reconstruction of this movie.
It's gonna be a loose tie-in to that
Spark
movie.
Notes version.
May or may not be actually correct or not. Feel free to fact check, but
Yeah, we're not going to read it, but feel free.
yeah,
No, we're accurate. You can quote us.
yeah.
Quote us in your essay.
You have my word.
But yeah, so it's like, well, I mean, I could type random numbers on a keyboard as long as Morpheus still believes that I'm the chosen one, right?
That is true.
He'll find a way to get to me, right?
Here's another question. Do we know the plot of the movie when we're dropped in? I think yes. I think that
think
would give
yes.
us a chance.
Yeah. It'd give us more of a chance.
You would
a
know the
fair chance.
future, like, and you'd still be bound by the plot, but at least you could use that information, limited may it be, to your advantage.
Yeah, I think that would even the playing field for us a
Yeah.
bit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you could fake your way into Morpheus because
Okay.
like, he was probably monitoring Neo for a long time.
Yeah.
And so like if you just dropped in there, Morpheus is probably already convinced you're the one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at that
Yeah.
point, he's probably had his decision made long before.
You just have to hope he hasn't seen a photograph.
Yeah.
True.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. You're telling me I don't look like who's that?
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves? You're telling me I don't look like Keanu Reeves?
You don't look like Keanu Reeves.
The camera's just blurry.
You're full of shit.
All right, so let's assume that Morpheus does pick you. That's fair.
Okay.
So like you get to like then we go to like where he gets the pills, right?
Right. Yep.
Which
Yeah, the
pill
red
do
and
you
the-
take?
The red and blue pill, right?
Right. Considering you know the plot of the movie, you would definitely. Which one's the good one?
Was it the blue one?
I think
I don't know.
Am I the
think
idiot?
The red
Oh,
pill's
no.
the one where you wake up.
Yeah, it's red because that's the thing you see on social media all
Yeah,
the time. It's
where
like
you're
you've been
like-
red pilled.
You've been awoken.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the
That's
red
right.
one's the good.
Okay.
So you failed right there because you just said the blue.
Well, shit.
That's it. You're part of the machine. You've admitted to it.
That's right. Tim
All right. Well, in the future, I'll know. It's the red pill. No, so I say I picked the right pill, right? I would watch the movie.
Wait, do you know that you're getting dropped into this movie? Is that
Sure.
somebody sends you an email and says, "Hey Tim, you're gonna be dropped into this movie at exactly 9 a.m. tomorrow."
Yeah, I'd be like,
You're
I'm
like,
watching.
shit, I don't have time to watch it.
Oh, Yeah,
well,
that's
okay, but how seriously do you take an email like that? Also, like, yeah, we dropped in this movie, but like, that's cool.
That's true.
You don't really realize
I
what
would,
that means.
I would classify it as one of those like Nigerian prince emails.
Yeah, true.
At that point, you're not even like acknowledging. You just scroll past it. You're like, yep, spam, spam.
So are we assuming that the way this is happening is a Nigerian prince scam? That they're like, if you don't send me $1 million, I'm dropping you
Okay,
into
so-
the Matrix.
What I'm thinking is that like I would get an email like that, and I would quite literally just look at it and be like, "Huh, that's definitely a scam." And then just out of sheer curiosity and ADD power, I would quite literally just like go on the internet and just look up at least the basic plot points of the Matrix, because
Got to be armed and equipped. you
I'm
know?
just like
The
I'm just like,
Wikipedia
no,
plot
no, I don't
rundown.
believe like I'm gonna get dropped into an action movie like that. But it's like, well, now
But
you
what
just
if?
but now you just reminded me of the Matrix, and I have no idea what's going on in the Matrix. So I'm gonna say that.
Okay. So let's assume that Tim gets red pilled and you do get not a part of the machine. What happens next in the Matrix? He wakes up, right? And he's all gooey and
Yeah.
bald and naked.
Yeah.
oh yeah, he works with a vat, right?
Yeah. Wakes up in a vat.
Considering none of us are action stars, what do you think the odds of you slipping and falling off that big bridge are? Because you're
Oh.
all gooey.
Almost
so
100%.
much.
Because doesn't he? Am I remembering this wrong? Or isn't there like a big bridge he runs across and he's all gooey and
I
slippery?
think so.
I think like when he's making his way out of there, I think so. It's been so long since
I know.
I've seen The Matrix,
I know.
man. It's
So bad pick.
Well, so let's assume maybe what do you think the chances of you slipping are?
I think being me.
Wait, okay, hold on. Pause. This is something for the viewers. Is it in our state right now?
What?
Is it are we getting dropped in there right now?
Like as we are. Oh.
Because for the viewers, Tim has a broken clavicle.
Yeah. So I would be
Poor
screwed.
bastard.
I have one less arm to balance myself.
Not to dox you like that, Tim, but
Hey. I don't
Like
appreciate
in a
that.
pinpoint.
easily identifiable for the assassins now.
Okay. All right. So I have a broken clavicle. Couldn't they just in the Matrix? Couldn't they just fix me?
True.
It isn't-
Wait, but at that point you're not in the Matrix.
That's true. That's true. That I'm not in there
But
yet.
in the Matrix, yeah, it wouldn't be a
yeah,
problem.
because they could fix me.
Yeah.
Right.
So now you find out you're covered in goo, and now you find out your clavicle's broken, and you got to find out you got to cross this bridge. What do you
Yeah.
do?
So in that case, almost like I'm gonna say probably about like an 85% chance I'm gonna slip and fall off to my death.
Really?
So
You think that high?
I think it's high.
You're
'cause-
not a guy who slips a lot in real life.
in the
well,
movie,
I mean, it's goo, man. I don't.
it is.
I don't encounter goo in my day-to-day life. Like,
Yeah, it's true. Like,
that's
what kind of
something-
how gooey is this goo?
I was
Is
gonna
this
say,
like
you
a
seem
pretty
lotion-based
gooey.
You put soap on.
Lotion-based goo.
water-based goo? Like, what kind of base goo are we talking about here?
I'd say it's probably water.
It's pretty thick.
I think it's pretty.
thick
I think
goo.
it's water-based though.
Gelatinous.
It like webs when he moves.
Okay, we talking like
Yeah.
Mr. Incredible type goo that held him down in
No,
that
no, no,
facility?
No, that's like
That's not slippery goo. That's sticky goo.
That's some, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's a very
There's
key
a different-
difference there.
yeah. There's different classes of goo. You know, if you didn't know. So yeah, so I'm gonna say because I don't encounter goo in my day-to-day life,
Zoologist, one may say.
like I'm slipping. Like I'm gonna at least slip and fall once, if not twice. And if I don't slip off that bridge, I think there's a higher chance that I do.
At least he admits it.
Yeah, you know, just won't admit it.
So, but if I were to get that slim chance that I cross a bridge without slipping and falling, not to my death, then what happens next? Then it would
Well,
be
Alternatively, in the movie, was there other people near him when he woke up in vats? And did he just decide to just book it after
Doesn't he
that?
get like flushed out? Isn't that what it is?
I think so.
Because then they like rescue him.
Okay, I say otherwise, wouldn't you just like start looking around and be like,
Like, yeah, you
Start
know the
fiddling
movie.
around,
You'd start
yeah.
waking everybody up.
Yeah, that's true.
you can make everybody red pilled.
Oh, look at that.
End this
Do you think that would
simulation.
upset Morpheus though? Because he like picked only.
Well,
he picked
I'm
you.
pretty sure, yeah. All of a sudden, have all your dudes wake up and get in the real life when you had this big simulation meticulously planned for them. I'd be a little salty too.
Morpheus seems like a type of guy who would be very offended, like if you go against his plan, even if you had a better idea.
Probably.
Oh yeah,
I think
no.
he would at least punch you in the face.
Like he seems like an arrogant son of a bitch.
Yeah, it'd be
Give you a-
insulting to him.
I think he'd give you a solid gut punch right there, right then and there.
Might remove a testicle to assert dominance over you. You know, It's that type of guy.
How long
Yeah.
do you think it would take him to realize that you weren't Neo?
Oh, like
Oh, you know computer stuff.
A little, yeah, okay.
Like you'd last longer than me for sure.
A little bit.
Like they'd be like
I can-
hacking, and I'd be like, I've seen them do that on NCIS.
You're like, yes,
Yeah, I could at least write him a code enough to build him a
You could write an
stopwatch.
if-then statement.
I could make him a
I
stopwatch.
don't even know what
That's
that
about
is.
it.
Well, yeah, there's the problem. It's not gonna get
That's
us
why I
far
didn't
either.
pick the
Yes.
Matrix.
See, I could explain that. I'm like, they're just like, hacking. I'm just like, yes. If then,
I am one of you.
Numbers.
loops.
Wait, are all of them hackers?
I have no.
I don't think they are.
I have no.
Now I'm
idea.
thinking about
I'm
it.
gonna be-
You could probably bullshit your way through that.
Probably.
Do they
Yeah.
all claim to be hackers though? Do
I
they
don't
all
think
act
they
like they
do.
know what they're doing?
I don't think they do, because like one of them is like an engineer.
Okay, yeah. You could fib your way through that.
Yeah.
You just be like, I'm a
just like-
sewer. I don't know why, but I'm good at sewing things. They're not gonna ask you to sew.
Well, I think they know that Neo's a hacker though, because that's why he gets picked.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
But I don't think any of them are hackers. That's what I'm saying. I think he
So
could
they
bullshit
wouldn't-
his way through it.
Yeah. So they wouldn't know the difference if I just started dropping terms like, I'm gonna put this loop in here with a Boolean integer and.
No, you don't even go there. You just try to act like you've got some like method that's so advanced they just
Yeah.
don't even know what they're looking. You just start slamming the keyboard, and they're like, "You're just slamming the keyboard." You're like, "No, you have no idea."
Do the classic like.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Those spaghetti fingers.
See, the hacking scene I always like I think of, and why I said NCIS is the one where it's like McGee, I think, is hacking, and like it's not going. Oh no, it's Abby is hacking, and
Yeah.
and it's like it's not going fast enough. So then McGee reaches over, and they're both typing on the keyboard, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so this is how hacking works.
That's
Yes.
how it works.
hacking.
Move over. It's like
Yeah.
it's like they're playing
Yeah.
a little playing a little duet on the piano.
Yeah,
when it's
yeah.
hacking.
Yeah. Apparently, all hacking is pressing keys very fast.
The more keys you
Apparently.
can get per second, the faster you're hacking.
key per second. So what would be the next like significant moment in the Matrix? Probably when he like starts learning his powers.
Yes, I would say when it's like starts getting all the programs like put into him.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I could survive that because all they have to do is just plug me in.
Okay.
True.
Temporary pause because we all know this movie a little better. Just random thought. Saving Private Ryan. All those guys were just kids who went through basic training, or you could say alternatively, like one of the opening episodes of Band of Brothers. I guess if you consider the whole show one thing, because
True.
they go through training and become
And-
qualified soldiers.
What I hear is Jacob is changing his answer.
I am.
All right, we'll come back to you.
I'll accept that, but
This just occurred to me, and you might have the best choice because the fact that you are just a man does not affect the fact that you get Matrix powers.
true.
Because like you will still get the Matrix
Right,
powers
that's
regardless of being Neo.
We're getting yoinked into the
That's why I
Matrix.
thought of it because
I
I'm
think
just
Tim
like,
just won.
I think it's like because it's like you just get them.
You just jinxed. You just like basically cheesed getting yourself powers without even having to have
'Cause
powers to begin with.
You're right. Here's the thing: is the bridge is so far the only thing that would kill you.
Yeah.
Because if you think about Neo, like Neo wasn't a fighter. I don't think.
Right, and,
Could be wrong.
once I get put into the Matrix with all these powers, like my broken clavicle is not going to do anything.
Right. You were matrixed.
It's true.
Right. It's like I'm just code at that point.
Yep. It's a bunch of ones and zeros.
I think Tim won. Because like, what could you what could you do that? What could Neo do that you couldn't at that point?
At that point, nothing.
I mean, he's Keanu Reeves, so that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
You've done it.
Okay, so say like that scene where there's a whole bunch of the what's the guy's name?
oh shoot.
Man, we're idiots.
Mr. Anderson.
Is that what it is, Mr. Anderson?
I think it's Anderson.
Sure, we're gonna go with that.
Mr. Anderson.
This could be
If
so
we're wrong, if we're gonna be wrong, this is gonna sound
No research.
so-
So like like the part where there's a whole bunch of him and you have to fight them all.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
No, because
No
I think
research.
the guy I'm thinking of, you were talking about the black glasses guy,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
I think he's the one who turns around and goes, Mr. Anderson, I've been
no.
expecting you.
I have no idea.
We'll still go with
We're going
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
I like
We're
that.
gonna go with that.
Okay, so like that part where there's a whole bunch of him and they all attack you. How do you handle that situation? Describe it to us.
So when they all attack at once, is this that part when I'm like in a
Like
alleyway?
the famous Matrix scene where like you
Yeah.
freeze in the air.
I mean, he's got Matrix powers.
I do. I have all of that, and I know if I know the plot of the movie, right?
Then you could get even more creative with it.
You
That's
just
true. Would you do it differently from the way Keanu did it?
I think he put a little too much flair into it. Personally,
You're just a get shit
Well,
done.
I'm
almost.
just
kinda
like
guy.
yeah. I'm just
But-
like just.
That's
just,
a gamble, because what if you mess up in your alternative
True.
method? Because what if Keanu's is the only way that you know it actually works,
True.
and if you deviate from that,
That
you are now
is-
taking a risk.
That's a fair point. I'll take that.
I feel like it'd be boring to just say I do everything Keanu does.
Yeah, that's true. See, what I would do is I would just like grow myself multiple arms and just punch them all at the same time.
Can he do that?
Can
I
he?
mean, it's code.
Why did he never do it if he could?
I don't know.
Budget.
I mean, honestly,
But
there
he
could
was
be
on
a
a-
reason for a lot of
Keanu
that
was
stuff.
on a budget, so he couldn't just grow other arms.
Yeah, Keanu was paying for the FX just out of his own pocket. The camera were like, "Yo, we have no budget for any effects. Keanu, can you please pay for it?" He's like, "I got $50."
I got 20, man. That's enough for one extra arm.
Yeah, that's all we need. That's all we need.
It's enough for 30, maybe Mr. Andersons or one arm. And we picked the 30 Anderson.
It was a
Possibly
really cool
alleged
scene, though.
Anderson.
Yeah, alleged Anderson. I like that. But yeah, so I don't know. I think I'd still do like the crazy like twirling kicking moves that he does. That I think I remember.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have some of those like gravity-defying moves because
Right,
you can't
yeah.
do that stuff in real life. So
No.
it's gonna be fun to do. Like,
Well,
even
it's
if
gonna be fun,
a
but
little
it's
boring.
also like obviously more effective than, you're not dealing with an average human. You're dealing with
Mr.
a source
Anderson.
code basically.
How does The Matrix end? 'Cause
He
There's 3 more movies, isn't there?
Yeah, there's like-
two more
I
movies?
haven't seen any.
yeah,
of the
there's 2 more.
following
I
movies.
think.
I haven't either.
Basically at the end of the last movie, I believe. What's his name?
This really proves that we didn't do research.
I know, right?
I'm
good
just
boys.
blanking out on the main character right now. Neo gets goes through and who's the girl he's with all the time?
I don't remember her name.
Yeah, but her like she gets killed. He gets like essentially like
Could you deal with the emotional trauma of her dying?
I don't know, man.
Hell yeah, he could. It's just Tim plopped in there. He doesn't give a shit about her.
Yeah, but like Neo was only plopped into there and like
That
formed
is
a
true.
bond with her.
Yeah,
It's in the plot.
It is in the plot. It is a part of the plot. So I mean, that's just would you follow the plot or not at that point?
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends.
I think we might have him here. I think this is the
Yeah,
only
we
way
got him
can
in a
stop-
corner now. He's sweating bullets over there.
This is the only way we can stop him. Although I think when we come back to Jacob, his band of brothers argument might have merit too.
That is true. That's true. I think like once I don't know, because like at the end of the Matrix series, Neo does basically just die. So
What?
yeah, like he basically just like gives himself up.
I need to watch this
Puts a
series.
dampen on things.
But like, hold on.
I think
This is just a question.
I think so.
Who is the bad guy of the Matrix? Like, who is doing this?
It'd be the
Is it like
machines?
aliens? Or is it-
Oh, so isn't it
They
almost
call
the
it-
Matrix
it's-
in general? Like, yeah, just the makers of the Matrix.
I think it is basically like an alien race, like machines, basically.
no research.
Yeah,
Whatever dubious
I would like to stress
overlord
that
it may
no
be.
research at all.
Bunch of idiots. All right.
Yeah, so it's like until then, like if I get past the slippery bridge, and I get all the Matrix powers and follow Keanu's steps throughout that movie, which I think like with the Matrix powers wouldn't be the worst.
All right. And again, it's like
I would only die at the end of the movie.
yours is so good because it's like
It's an average
The fact
person.
that you are you does not matter.
Right,
Yeah, that doesn't
because you
change anything.
you don't get dropped in as
Right.
you.
Right.
I mean, you do, but like it's
irrelevant to the plot.
irrelevant. Yeah, you get powers. You get to do things that nobody else can do, like in real life. So
Mm.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid argument.
Well, I'm gonna stick with that then.
I'm between two. I'm gonna go with
Okay.
mine. I'm gonna say them aloud, then I'm gonna decide. I'm
Okay.
between the Amazing Spider-Man.
Ooh.
'Cause it's a similar situation
It
where I would
is.
become Spider-Man
That's true.
within it, or I forgot the other one, The Incredibles. But I'm gonna go with The Incredibles because I think it'd be more entertaining, and maybe if we have
Oh,
time, we
boy.
can circle back.
Oh boy. Okay.
And that would mean I take the role of Mr. Incredible.
Wow.
And essentially, what this means is, at the beginning, I have a much more comfortable life because I actually fit in things. It's like, yes, I'm tall, I'm 6'2", but he's like
Huge.
7 foot or whatever he is.
he's
enormous.
massive.
And if you think about it, oh shit, I just remembered something. I have to save a guy from. Maybe this is not a good one. So at the beginning, I forgot how the movie begins with him superheroing because my argument was essentially going to be, what does Mr. Incredible really do throughout that entire movie?
Yeah. So that one starts with him doing his superhero things.
Right. So
He's
that's
stopping
what I
robberies and
forgot
such.
about. But let's roll with it anyway.
You gonna stop a train?
Shit.
We got him now.
Well, let's think about what's the consequence of me letting that train not get stopped.
I mean, then again, they were
Dead
all
people.
pissed at him that he stopped. But
Maybe I would save superheroes because I couldn't do my job.
Maybe they'd be like,
it'd be a lot more
I don't know.
superheroes.
Maybe they just would expedite the process of kicking out superheroes. Like, see, they can't even do their job. The
This
dude
guy
just
got
watches
juiced by a train.
You walked up and you realize, oh crap, I don't have superpowers. So you just watch his bullet train speed off and all these people explode in a fiery just ball. You're like,
That'd be
well,
terrible.
sucks.
All right, so I fail.
Okay,
I
guys.
fail the first plot point. I'll admit it. I don't save a guy from jumping out of a building.
You know
off a
what?
building.
None of us would either, so that's all right.
All right, so I fail step one. What's the next major plot point? It's just
So
him
then-
living his life.
Yeah, it's him like going through
Getting
like
fat.
the courts.
I could do that.
and everything like that. Yep, getting a little chunk, letting go of himself a little bit, but then getting a very nice job as an insurance agent.
Oh
I
shit.
think.
There's another spot where I might fail. I'm terrible with numbers. I picked a terrible one.
You don't have to be good with numbers with insurance. You just like, hey, I need like 12,000 to repair
Because again,
my
you
vehicle.
already have the job, so you don't even need to take the schooling or anything to get that. You don't know what you're doing. All you need to do is whatever your boss tells you.
And
to
you
do.
know, like he's good at his job, assumingly, and he's still gonna get fired. So maybe
Exactly.
it's
I'll
not a
tell you-
skill-based
I'll
job.
I'll tell you how to be an insurance agent. You'd
All
be
right,
like,
tell me.
all right, so the client comes in, they're just like, hey, I need like 12,000 for this car. Like it's wrecked. Like I need it repaired, and you're just like, I'll give you 400.
every time, no matter the
Yeah.
number.
So I just say I'll give
You
you
just lo-
400.
Yeah.
You just lowball it, and then they're gonna fight you on it a little bit. You
I'm
kind of
like,
find a
but I'm an
negotiation.
insurance agent.
Yeah.
Well, that's when you
You're just
lowball
like,
it, you add $50 after they complain, and you say, hands are tied. That's it.
And you know, like I would probably be like, whisper to him. I'd come up to him and I go, hey, I'm Mr. Incredible. And then I got him.
just to freak them out and be like,
Yeah, just to intimidate him.
I'll buy
And they're like,
Okay.
really? I thought you were bigger. I'm like, you always saw me from close up.
now I'm further away. Yeah.
You always saw me from close up.
I was gonna say far away, and I was like, wait, that would make me smaller. So
Yeah.
you only ever saw me when you were wearing glasses.
You had like binocular glass.
And you're like, I don't wear glasses. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, that's
Supervillains do
my
weird
problem,
things.
is it now?
So the next major plot point is probably throwing that guy through that wall. And he's a pretty little guy, so I think I could do it.
I think you could at least throw him against the wall.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going to that
How
wall.
flimsy are those walls?
They
I mean,
were
it's
like,
still like
that's like at
They
least
seem pretty flimsy.
okay, based on like you
they're
see
not
videos of
one layer.
drywall though, dudes getting like thrown through that though. So I think
Yes,
maybe
that's
one
true.
wall you're getting through.
That's how I mean.
But
I'm not
that's
throwing
like-
him through 30 walls or whatever it
But
was.
see, that's
but
the
one
thing.
wall.
It depends on the construction of the wall. I guess I never noticed in the movie like how thick the wall
But-
is,
They're pretty
but-
thin.
because it's like
They're like
it's
cubicle
drywall.
walls.
I'm giving you like
And
a
then it would be-
50% chance he gets through that wall because
Yeah,
again,
that's
like
fair.
you might have an
Yeah.
imperfect throw. You don't have to brute force to just correct the imperfection.
This is also not like a detriment to me making it through the movie.
That's
whether
true.
or not I do this.
yes.
That's
I'll
true.
say if you did
Like, all
do
this
it,
doesn't really
you would
matter.
have a really high chance of like actually killing him because
He's
you
got-
wouldn't have to force or just
Doesn't
cleanly
he-
pop him through.
Doesn't he get fired? And that's what like sparks him.
No, he doesn't get fired there.
He gets fired after he brutalizes
Yeah, he
him.
basically says, his boss basically, he's like gripping the door handle. He's like, if you walk out of this room, you're fired. And he like,
Oh, that's right.
and he lets go of the door handle. It's like crushed up, and he's just like, all right, and then he just throws him through the wall.
Okay, so I just walk up to him and just like slap him, and same effect. I get fired.
Well, maybe
It's the same
because
result.
Mr. Incredible did
I
that,
guess so.
they didn't do anything to him really legally. But like, if you just slapped, you probably just got arrested or something, like for
Shit.
assault or something.
Well, I'm Mr. Incredible.
We'll see. Okay, so then what happens after that is like the guy gets taken to the hospital for being thrown through like multiple walls,
Yeah,
and
so
then
he
they have to
wouldn't go to the
relocate him.
Oh, that's right. So I need to do something to him. I need to expose myself, which is hard when I don't have powers.
So you just
I would-
slam his head in the
Okay, here's what I would do. I would slap him and I would shout, "I'm Mr. Incredible."
So what, he's just supposed to believe some dude who just slapped him
just
and he's
supposed to
Mr.
believe
Incredible?
you?
When all the
Yeah.
pictures you've seen of Mr. Incredible are some big ass dude.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
At the beginning of the movie, I was Mr. Incredible. So there are photos.
So all the photos of you are skinny Mr. Incredible. That's like the established
That's
Mr.
true.
Incredible.
That's
Yes.
true.
Okay,
Yeah, that's true. All right, so
All right.
going on with that,
Okay. We'll work with
going
it.
on with that, there is a window in his office, right?
I just thought of something.
What?
Since I'm just being dropped into the role of Mr. Incredible, would anybody even associate super strength with Mr. Incredible?
Oh. Well,
But
he
I
has
guess
a history.
Yeah,
He has
there's a history before the movie.
Before
Him being
those.
dropped in at the beginning.
Yeah. Do they even cover how he gets his powers? They're just like born
No,
with it,
they
right?
don't cover.
just-
I think in
yeah.
that universe they're born. I think it's like mutants. I think it's like an X-Men situation.
Well, if that's the case,
Yeah.
and you're plopped in the movie and you have a history, that means you were just born with powers.
right, and I wasn't.
Right.
Okay.
Because I'm just me. Last time I checked, I wasn't born with powers.
You never know. It may take
Anyway,
one
what
to
would be the
turn.
next major thing? Oh, I get the messages from that
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Mirage.
Mirage.
Oh no! What you do first is you start going underground with Frozone and like stopping crime and
See,
stuff
okay.
on the
Oh, I
side.
remember. I was thinking about this. I would have no problem doing that because if you think about it, Frozone does almost everything
He does.
in that.
Yeah.
It's like all Mr.
Except
Incredible
for
does
running
is,
through
is
walls.
shoulder bash a wall, and I could
Yeah.
do that. I get a little burned.
He shoulder bashed through a brick wall, if I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
I would find a more creative way around that brick wall. Again, Frozone is with me.
That's
Sure,
true.
Frozone, you'd be like, "Hey, Frozone, break down this wall." Like, can't you be like, "Oh, I'm tired."
And I know the plot of the movie, and I know that the reason Frozone can't use his powers is because he doesn't have water. So I would bring a shit ton of water bottles with me.
Yeah, you
And problem
just bring
solved.
a gallon thing.
Just start
Yeah.
force feeding him
Yeah,
water.
so when he freezes the cop, you just snag the water, then bring it with you. Be like, "Trust me, we're
Yeah.
gonna need this."
Yeah. So like I would know that we're gonna end up in a burning building. So I would bring a bunch of water, and Frozone would be like, Mr. Incredible or whatever his name, Noah, as I'm now known.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing that water? I'm like, you'll see.
You'll see. Just trust me, buddy. Trust me. We'll need.
I don't know. I'm also gonna have to face convincing my lifelong friend Frozone why I've lost so much weight and
Well,
height.
You're also going to have to fight a robot that was specifically designed to kill
I'm prepared for
superheroes.
that.
Well, hold up. But also, another thing is that at the beginning of the movie, if you're being dropped in at the beginning of the movie, that's like years before all of this is happening.
Yep.
So you'll have years of development
I will
with
have
Frozen.
I'll have plenty of time to convince Frozone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not gonna be a problem.
No, yeah,
then.
you're good. You're good.
Yeah,
man.
he's going to be fully
Frozen-
convinced as long as you can
Right.
keep
You're
pulling
same
off
old
the
Mr.
strength thing.
Incredible to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, because that's quite a bit. It's like if we assume that he had his kids right after marriage, that's like a good. Violet's probably what? I put her in her teens.
Well, they're like
Yeah,
good
she's in high
buddies
school.
kind of thing.
Yeah, she's in high school. So,
Yeah, so I would have known him for at least 16 years. I've been this
Yeah.
way.
yeah.
All right, that's not a
yeah,
problem.
that's not a problem.
So like the next thing would probably be fighting the robot,
Yup.
and I'm ready for this. One, it's designed to fight superheroes, not just guys. And two, I know that all I have to do is just run under it and it'll stab itself. So I'll just run under it and it'll stab itself.
Well, doesn't it learn how the person fights as you fight? So maybe.
So I
what
just won't
le-
fight. I'll immediately run under it.
We'll see, but maybe what like happened to lead
It'll
it
be
happen-
ready for Mr. Incredible and not for me.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Well,
you still
will
need to
it
wait.
though?
Oh, crap, because I've been Mr. Incredible for 16 years.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
because he didn't
been
even
tracking
start
you since the
developing
beginning,
that until after the incident.
Yeah,
like
crap,
at the
'cause
beginning
he was
of the
just
movie.
a boy, a young boy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll pull a Hitler situation. A Hitler situation? Yeah. And as soon as I meet like young Syndrome, I'll just choke him out.
Just end it right there.
Yup. Yup.
Just end it right
Just
there.
stop it from happening right
Well, hold
away.
up, but that's gonna like affect the
I
entire
can't do that.
plot.
Can't do that. Damn it. Damn, that robot would be ready for me. But
Yeah, the robot would be a lot weaker because it wouldn't have to be
that's
like
true. Because like wasn't like Mr. Incredible
Well,
like
but
that?
it killed a bunch of other guys too.
But wasn't like Mr.
Yeah.
Incredible like the like best superhero? Isn't that kind of like the plot?
I
Like,
think it might have been like the end goal for that robot or
like
something.
he was like the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he was like the best. He was one of the
Yeah.
best.
yeah, because he went through the records later
Right.
and he saw as like this robot was just like going through multiple like stages to get up to him.
I'm trying
Right,
to
so
think
I think-
because like at least I can't remember her name, but the superhero lady, like the who makes all this design stuff, she does
Edna.
like talk about a bunch of old guys. Now they don't necessarily mention like any ranking wise above or below them, but maybe like those names are just so iconic that they were as popular as Mr. Incredible, but now he's just the most popular right now.
It's like
kind of
his
thing.
name is Mr. Incredible.
That's true.
I mean, if you found
That's
out you were
interesting
super
name.
strong, wouldn't you just call yourself like Mr. Incredible? Doesn't it also like make you the best superhero? Dude has a little laser.
Well,
Mr. Fantastic isn't strong. He's stretchy. What's
Well, he's still
fantastic about
incredible.
that?
What's fantastic?
Yeah, I can think of a couple of reasons why it's pretty fantastic. He
Hey,
basically got the force
and
without needing
honestly,
the force.
you would know that Jack is a crazy
I would
maniac.
just bring Jack
Yeah,
with me.
he'd be literally your pocket weapon.
Here we go. I would
He's
bring
your
Jack
weapon.
with me to the island.
Be like,
There you
Jack,
go.
shoot that guy with your eyes.
Yeah.
So how are you convincing your wife?
Oh crap.
Yeah, you got to run this past
Yeah,
the
because
wife.
she is pretty like she'd be questioning.
The mom
that.
instincts are
She'd be
kicking
like,
pretty
"Why
hard
are
for
you?"
her.
The stretchy woman.
Do we think I would survive the robot? Do I have a chance if I bring Jack?
Yeah,
I think
we'll
so.
say with Jack, you'd be able to.
Jack, you'd literally just like let Jack go, and he would just go.
You just
ham
gotta
on him.
throw Jack at it and just hope one of his powers goes off, because one of two things happens. The robot just smacks Jack in the air, he becomes red mist and paints the wall. Or B, a power goes off and Jack blows the fucking robot off and you survive.
Oh my god. That's a 50-50 chance right there. I don't know if I want to take that.
To answer the question of how would I convince the wife, I just wouldn't. I would just leave. Because I have no attachment to although I have been with them for 16 years.
We've seen the movies
That's
too. You've
true.
seen how angry she gets. She will hunt you down. She will kill you.
Would she be able to find me? Because the only reason, how does she find him?
Tracker in the suit.
You would know
That
about
Edna
it.
made.
I wouldn't fit in the suit.
Well, the
Oh,
suit's
Edna's
tailored
making
for you.
it.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Edna's
I'd kill
making it.
Edna.
Well, not only
You
that,
just
but
wouldn't
like,
wear the
you know
suit.
the tracker's there though. You've seen, like, we know the plot, so you just take it out.
Yeah, would killing Edna ruin the plot of the movie?
She does make a suit for Jack.
She does
But,
make some
but
pretty
again,
nice suits.
are we assuming like if I survive the movie, I return to my normal life?
Why do you have to kill Edna?
Because she's the one who tells.
Okay, first of all, how would you even kill
I
Edna?
see. Okay.
I just choke her out. I'm Mr. Incredible.
Well,
Dude.
she doesn't have powers, does she?
Dude, she doesn't
No,
have
she
powers,
doesn't.
but you wouldn't be able to kill her in your own home.
That's true. She's got a lot of security. Well, I have Jack with me. I'd just shoot her with Jack.
Just like squeeze Jack legs.
That's true. She was pretty surprised at Jack. Like
right.
she kept
Nobody
him
was
for
expecting Jack.
study.
He's a Jack. Jack of all trades.
Yeah,
Nobody
it's-
was expecting.
So I'd whip out my concealed Jack.
Permit for that?
Do you have a permit for that,
got
boy?
permit for that, Jack.
I'd put her down. All right, so
Oh, man.
Edna's dead. Jack versus robot. We said 50-50. I like those odds.
Yeah,
Alright.
I mean, there's a chance.
I mean, it's a chance.
We can progress.
All right.
with that.
All right, so what's after that? I get
Oh.
captured.
Yeah, it's the goo.
I get-
Now we're at sticky goo.
I want the sticky goo.
How do they torture him? They just kind of zap him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just-
As far as I know, I have no heart conditions, so I would
should be
likely
okay.
survive that. It
But-
would just be painful.
What if? Well, I guess there isn't established history, so they're not anticipating you to be super strong, so the voltage isn't going to be adjusted
Right.
for that. So just be
Right.
normal person. Yeah, you should be okay.
Right.
I think.
They're like, this guy really fell off
You
after
might
16
piss and shit
years.
yourself a couple times.
Then they're like,
Process.
About
all right, we
16
can get
years
this.
ago,
Yeah, like
this guy lost it.
like, he's staying right there.
All right, so then I would survive the torturing, and then they would threaten to blow up my family, and it probably wouldn't be as traumatic to
And
me.
at this point, your
Oh,
wife
Jack
is
will
in
be
the
with me,
facility
too.
to save you.
True.
Yes.
Okay, this is the part where I was talking about. Like, basically, my family does everything.
Well, now,
So at
now
this
she's
point-
not here because you killed Edna.
You can't kill
Now she
Edna.
never found
I knew
out.
killing
You
Edna would
can't
come back
kill
to
her.
my... Wait, the tracker's still in my suit.
No, because Edna's gone. He prevented.
That's true, and
this.
Edna was the one. Well,
You
I killed her.
can't
I mean,
kill
we could just
Edna.
retcon you killing Edna because you kind
Yeah.
of need your wife to find you.
Yeah, I gotta go back and not kill
Yup.
Edna.
So Edna's got to live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just kill her afterwards.
I will still just leave in the night with Jack.
Yeah, you'd still have a window of time before she pinpoints where you are. You just got to understand that when she does find you,
She's
immediate
coming.
death will follow.
That's good. I want her
Well,
to come quickly.
Yes, that's true.
To be fair, I mean, you're to be fair, Mr. Incredible never really runs super fast.
Exactly.
Like he's not super fast. Like he doesn't get around faster than
Like,
anyone
So he's
else.
faster than your average person, but like in terms of
Yeah.
superheroes, he's not. You know,
Right.
He's
It's
no
like you could-
Dash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think they're gonna be, as long as you keep with like how they transported Mr. Incredible to the island, like she's not finding out like any
Exactly.
better. So you don't have to kill Edna.
All right, Edna lives. It's decided.
So now your
My wife
finds
shows
you.
up.
Yup, you're saved.
My family saves me.
Yeah.
Okay.
End of story. Oh wait, there's the part at the end where I gotta fight the robot again. Okay.
Well, wouldn't that not happen because you've Hitler?
Yeah, if
the
you
child?
kill the
No, because I didn't do that.
Oh,
because
that's
we
right,
decided
that's
that
right.
would
Yes,
destroy the
yeah,
plot
that
of the
would destroy
movie.
plot.
All right, so now the next major plot point would be the fight in the city.
Whoa. Before the fight in the city, you've got to escape from that kid now because he sends all those dudes with the spinning robot blade things and stuff
Yeah,
after
my
you.
family does all that.
Read some of that. No, Mr. Incredible takes out a couple of those things.
I can take him. I have Jack.
all right. Yeah, Jack. We'll go with the Jack
Wait.
clause.
you'd know how the remote works.
Oh, dear.
You could control it.
Oh my goodness,
Not
this
that
changes everything.
powerful. Yeah,
all right,
that's
at the
okay.
end of the movie, all I gotta do is get the remote, and I win.
As soon as you get the remote, you know how to like
I win.
subconsciously
Just
launch
use
the
Violet
thing
or
into
something to
space,
get the
Right.
remote.
and it's done.
Yeah,
And I
just tell
win.
Violet, sneak up,
Yeah.
get the remote,
Yeah.
get back to me. Boom, game over.
Because we're assuming I get out of the island fine because I have the Jack clause.
Yes,
Right.
the Jack clause.
Plus, my family does nearly everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Everything else they cover.
All right, so I escape the island. We defeat it easily because I can control it, and then I choke out Syndrome once and for all. And there's no consequences because I pop out,
At that
Mr.
point,
Incredible
if you control
pops
the
back
robot,
in.
Just have the robot just Merc syndrome. You don't even have to like.
I want to do it.
All right. Yeah, that's personal.
It's like I spent 16 years with this
Now, if
asshole.
you think about it, out of all of our picks, I was having to endure the movie the longest of any of
I
us.
think so. I think so.
Like I've been in there for 16 years.
Yeah, that
Assume
would be
about
that'd be a grind of a movie to get through.
Yeah, thinking about that's a lot of life you've experienced in that movie.
Unless it's like the movie where that time kind of just like skips
Well,
forward.
it's probably what it is because that's the only existence
I'm
that we
in the
see, though.
movie.
Yeah, we don't
Right.
see any of the
Right.
previous.
Right.
Yeah, you just get
Okay.
plopped in the movie.
So
All
we're
right,
good. Okay. What was I gonna say?
I think you have a lower chance than the Matrix.
Well, because you
but I
have to
think
Oh yeah,
follow
definitely lower than the Matrix.
trains
But
and stuff.
so a lower chance than the Matrix, but I think you still do have a chance. Like it relies.
There's a
basically
couple
on that 50
there's a couple things I need to get lucky with,
Right. Yeah.
like the Jack thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
But, you know,
So.
those work out in the end.
I think the robot surprisingly was not the biggest threat to me.
I don't think so
Yeah, I don't
because
think
you know how to control it.
Right.
I mean,
Or
I
the
guess this is all
robot at the
again heavily leaning on just the fact that Jack it all works for that. But like,
And then like the movie, how would this movie end? It would be like me choking out Syndrome. He dies. The Underminer shows up. I poof away. Mr. Incredible poofs in, goes to jail for choking Syndrome. Happy ending.
and now you've doomed this.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Underminer gets away regardless, anyways.
Yeah,
and
Underminer.
yeah, that's all good.
And Mr. Incredible would still be at his peak health.
in prison.
True.
Well, I mean, oh my gosh, you've just doomed that world because they have this established history of you being the strength of no person. Mr. Incredible proper comes back, bursts his way out of prison. They're like, yeah, we'll stop him, tase him. He rips like people with like he's going berserk,
jeez.
dude. Like, there's
Yeah,
no way they'll
you'd
stop
be
him.
unstoppable.
Like,
Actually,
oh my god, what happened to this guy?
Well, that's what happens.
Not your problem.
That's what
They
happens.
shouldn't have dropped me into this movie.
All right, so I gotta keep us going. So, Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
Was that your pick?
Yes, that's my revised pick.
Okay.
Well, because this one, I mean, as I said, you're a normal dude, and all those things. Like, even if I had no formal training, if you just really, the case of war, get lucky, and if you know how to shoot a gun, you could theoretically get your way through that.
See, I feel like you're going through D-Day. Like you just gotta get lucky.
Exactly. Well,
Like, you're
that's
pure
for
luck.
all those dudes. Yeah,
Well,
you just got to get lucky.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing that I think that makes yours really work is if you watch that movie enough, you know who's gonna get shot and when.
True.
You know where they're going to shoot,
and
where
you know
every
where they're
explosion's
gonna
going
shoot.
to be.
Everything.
So if we're talking about Nigerian Prince situation where you get an email, like you
Yep.
could spend that whole night. But would you?
Okay.
Be honest. If
If
you
this is Nigerian Prince style, no. What? I mean, but I have seen that movie enough times. I wouldn't know exact plane stuff, but I have
You
an
have an
idea.
idea.
Like, yeah.
So who is the protagonist of Saving Private Ryan?
So here's the
Private Ryan?
caveat. I don't
No.
think it's Private Ryan. It's
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
So I was thinking Tom Hanks.
Yeah, and Private Ryan's just the call to action.
I was gonna
Right.
say if you were Private Ryan, you have it easy. You just sit there and wait to be saved.
Yeah, you're just
basically.
chilling out in whatever French city you're chilling out
So,
in,
like,
waiting to be rescued.
Ryan is like the titular character, but not
Yup,
the main
yup.
character.
But yeah, I mean, like, you got to survive D-Day, and then from that's a lot of just kind of walking through. Then you have the bunker scene where
I
they
haven't seen this movie in so long. I can't.
that's at
contribute
like the
to this.
radio tower where they have like the machine gun that's shooting at them from like the
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
and they
yeah.
lose the guy and make him dig the trench and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably one of the most dangerous situations because there's so few combatants in that. There's so just few people that sheer statistics could help protect me, kind of thing. Like, it's just my squad and these German dudes. If somebody
True.
dies, there's a decent chance.
And
it
like
could
you
be
said,
me.
you know that the plot of that movie enough
Yup.
that you could almost predict where all these machine gun nests and everybody's stationed already.
Well, and almost kind of building off of the whole Matrix Mr. Anderson fight scene, I could almost try to take it a different route and I could potentially save the guy's life too. But then you run that risk of then killing more people in the process, and that could just
Right.
severely affect the plot then.
So specifically that scene, I'm thinking of that scene where the German sniper's up in that tower and it's a sniper.
yup, the
and
raining
he
pound.
just clocks one of
and the
the
dude's sitting
dudes.
there with like the papers and stuff, trying to
Yep.
mumble to the squad. Yup.
But then his squad's sniper takes out the guy in the tower.
Yup.
So if you could just like say, hey, there's a sniper in that tower, and get your sniper on the case, do you think you could save a man's life?
Yeah, I think that'd be the easiest situation because that has the lowest risk that if you take a different route, you'd kill more people because you just say there's a sniper in that tower. People know what that sniper's field of vision is going to be, and they'd be like,
Right.
I need to stay away from that window of that tower because
Yeah.
you just pointed out to them. And that guy's gonna be like, I don't want to be standing in the middle of the street. And you'd also wouldn't have the case of the screaming, crying French child that you now have to deal with as well.
So where does Saving Private Ryan Jacob rank?
It does rely on a lot of ifs because there's a lot of situations where you pretty much are running through literal bullet hurricanes. And
Yeah.
one
So-
piece of shrapnel or one misplaced foot, one mine kind of thing.
I was gonna say, like, there was a lot of times in that movie where Tom Hanks's character was cutting it very, very close.
I mean, I guess you just have to start really think, do you think you could survive World War II?
No.
And I guess if you think about it like that, then really no.
Just
Like,
straight up- no.
I don't think I could either.
I
You
think
plot me in.
statistically, I'm not surviving World War
Well,
II.
maybe as an American you are. If you were plopped in and you were all of a sudden, you're like, where am I?
well-
and some dude speaking Russian to you, you're like,
To be
oh no.
fair, to
Right,
be
then
fair,
I'm done.
Yeah, then it's game over.
You're getting dropped in on the most lethal day,
D-Day.
Yeah, one
D-Day.
About as
So
bad as it gets.
I was gonna say, if you can survive D-Day, statistically, your chances are better. But already, you're stepping off with a very, very poor
I
foot.
say D-Day and that one bunker scene are
Yeah.
well, even the town scene, they're pretty, screwed in that scene too. Outnumbered. There's
Right.
just Germans keep pouring in. At the end, it looks like Tom Hanks is sitting there literally bleeding out the end, shooting at a
20
tiger tank.
20mm cannons and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so that would really just be a huge toss of dice.
And you would die at the end of the movie.
No,
Yeah,
Tom Hanks.
that's fine. I think because you make it through, as long as you make it through the movie. I think.
No, but I guess I do because
You-
Tom Hanks dies an old man. I think in the movie because it starts with Tom Hanks looking over the graves and stuff.
No, it starts with Ryan looking over the graves.
Right.
And you can see Tom Hanks dies.
Yes, he's looking at Tom Hanks' gravestone.
Yes. So you would die
Nice,
before the end of the
yes.
movie.
Well, then
I
by
would.
this logic, I win because so would you.
Yes.
True. Yes.
You
See,
are-
that's the only caveat that I saw with the Matrix, and
See,
also
I think,
with
but
this.
you're fulfilling the plot, and I think as long as you
okay.
fulfill the plot of the movie, it's like you would get poofed back.
And
So,
I-
do you think you'd have a chance at the end of the movie just to not die?
You could.
Well, I
think
guess
you could
like,
change
that
it,
depends
would
what
you?
you boiled on the plot to be then.
if you could change your fate,
Because you could probably
Would you?
But I was thinking, like, I was kind of building up the. Depends how you boil on the plot because the plot of Saving Private Ryan is save Ryan, so you don't necessarily have to die
it's like
to
you
save,
save Ryan. It's over.
Yeah,
it's like
as
that's
soon
your
as,
objective.
Like, as soon as those planes come and you see that like Ryan's saved, poof, you're back home.
Dude,
technically.
at the beginning of the town, the last battle
Yeah.
in Saving Private Ryan, basically Ryan denies going or leaving his troops.
Oh, if
you
you
could
could-
just be like, "Nah, boy," and you just slap him across the
That's
face
true,
and drag
because
him
Tom
through the
Hanks
field.
just gives in to like his goodwill and it's like,
Right.
okay, we'll help you. If he was just like, no, we're going, and you firmed hand him,
Yeah,
poof, right there. You don't even have to
Exactly.
witness the whole slaughter.
you're done. You're done. You don't die, and you
Whole
saved
end
Private
scene
Ryan.
skipped.
I still think you would die in D-Day.
yeah, that's the hard part.
Like I said, if you
I
could
just-
survive
D-Day.
D-Day,
I just don't think I don't think you could possibly memorize this movie enough to when you're in the heat of bullets flying around and things blowing
mean-
up that you would just be like, at this exact time, this thing's gonna blow up and I'm gonna be over
That's
here.
some like
Yeah, that's-
Sherlock Holmes type
yeah,
stuff
like
right
things
there.
you have to pause. Like I'll admit, if you get lucky and survive D-Day, your chances go way up.
Yeah,
Well, I think we can safely say that Tim with the Matrix won, and that I get close second.
Yeah.
I didn't expect an agreement there.
well, I was gonna say it's either like between you.
I mean,
two.
I'm not gonna argue. I won.
If we like, I'd say like if we settle down between the Jack point and the D-Day point we meet, it really depends. Like,
Yeah,
what
they're
we
pretty-
determine is
they're
more
pretty
survivable.
close.
But
Yeah.
aside from that, I could definitely say you have a probably higher chance. Also, ignoring the train scene for stopping the train. If you just choose to let that go.
Well, it's
then I
like,
guess
okay,
you're
if we
fine.
like think about how we originally talked about, I have like I would definitely die at the train scene, 100%.
Yes, that
That's
is-
one guaranteed death. So
if
I
you
guess
tried.
yeah, I think if we go with the I can let the train go, I think it's Tim with the Matrix, then me with the Incredibles, and then Jacob with Saving Private Ryan.
If you can survive D-Day.
And then dead last is whatever you first pitch.
Avatar: Last Airbender.
Yeah, you're done.
Yo, no.
it's just like first plot
Iceberg,
point.
don't even
There's
get
just
discovered.
yeah, literally the first plot point. But again, if I would have had to do the train, I would have died. Well, we have been full of shit. We will continue to be full of shit. Thank you for listening to our first episode. I've been
Yes.
Noah,
This is Tim.
And this is Jacob.
and thank you so much for listening.